Enjoy the show, Shakespeare's Argument.
All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts.
The set of sun.
Where the place?
Upon the heath. There to meet with Macbeth.
Upon the grey margin. Paddock calls.
Anon.
And foul is fair. Hover through the fog and feel the air.
Once more unto the breach, dear friends, once more, or close the wall up with our English dead. In peace, there's nothing so becomes a man as modest stillness and humility. But when the blast of war blows in our ears, then imitate the action of the tiger. Stiffen the sinews. Summon up the blood. Disguise fair nature with hard-favored rage. On, you noblest English, whose blood is fet from fathers of war-proof. Dishonor not your mothers. Now attest that those whom you called fathers did beget you. Be copy now to men of grosser blood, and teach them how to war. And you, good yeomen, whose limbs were made in England, show us here the mettle of your pasture. I see you stand like greyhounds in the slips, straining upon the start. The game's afoot. Follow your spirit, and upon this charge cry, God, for Harry, England, and St. John!
Oh, God, for Harry, God's feet, you should cry farewell to Shakespeare, all this fog, these explosions, as if Macbeth and Henry V were only filthy effects which reduce the plays to thoughtless artifice.
Artifice?
Artifice. The stratagem. The deceptive craft. a fake.
No. That was real fog.
Unbelievable. Does no one note the beauty of the language in Henry's rallying cry? Did he simply say, "Raw, raw, raw, let's go"? Obviously not. Shakespeare made use of all the glories of the English language. Hear the alliteration, the consonants stiffen the sinews, summon up the blood.
Did people really talk like that back then?
No, not every Elizabethan was a poet. Shakespeare was a poetic genius. He elevated the common language through common and clever use of rhyme, metaphor, syntactical image clusters, meter. Here he gave Harry deathless poetry to speak in the face of certain death.
King Henry got killed just then?
It was a figure of speech.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The opening two scenes, the first from Macbeth and the second from Henry V, give us a taste of one of the most important elements of Will Shakespeare's works, the theatricality of the plays. Most of us meet Shakespeare when he's flat, on the printed page. If we're lucky, we'll hear a recording or see a movie, but that's not what Shakespeare was all about.
Shakespeare wrote his plays for live audiences. He wrote to entertain people. The audience of the day demanded a lot for their money. If the audience didn't like something, they booed. But when the audience did like something, they made the actors do it over again.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, well, in the early days of Will's writing career, some tickets sold for only a penny. Yes, costs were lower in 16th century England. But theaters had to sell a lot of one-penny tickets in order to make any money, so Shakespeare's plays had to be entertaining.
Sounds good to me.
They had to be bigger than everyday life. English audiences could see people doing everyday work and hear people speaking everyday language. Well, every day. So Will peopled his plays with witches, kings, queens, lovers, saints, and sinners. He elevated the everyday language, made it rich and poetic, and he filled his plays with lots of action. Broad comedy, puns, tragic love, sword fights, and magic.
Oh, sounds good to...
Maybe the professor is right. You make it sound like the plays are all special effects. Ooh.
Well, Shakespeare used phosphorus, trapdoors, whatever fit the setting. At the Globe Theatre, they fired a cannon to signal the beginning of a performance.
That cannon caused a fire that finally burned the theater down.
That's besides the point.
Not to the actors, it wasn't.
What I am trying to say is this. This isn't highbrow entertainment. It's also theatrical, so Elizabethan, so authentic.
Yeah, but you don't have to be Elizabethan about it. The characters in these plays are so good that you can put them in lots of different places and times. And they can be entertaining without fog.
Prove it.
Prove what?
Prove that you can do a scene without fog. Prove that you can do a scene not set in Elizabethan England.
Do I have to put up with this?
Sounds good to me.
Name the play.
Oh, you know which play. The Lover's Confusion in A Midsummer Night's Dream.
Yeah, but
Big talk.
fine. Name the time and place.
All right. Ooh, do you mind?
Be my guest.
Use Willie's words, but the time is Friday night, June 24th, 1954.
Ooh, the 50s.
My mom's birthday. And the place is the parking lot of Middlebury High School. My mom's high school.
Boy, you don't ask for much, do you? Well, I'll give it a shot.
This is great. A Midsummer Night's Dream. 4 people in love with each other. Well, not really each other. Helena is in love with Demetrius, who's in love with Hermia, who's in love with Lysander. But then another guy, Puck, squirts Lysander and Demetrius with love potion, and now they both love Helena, and I have no idea what I've just said. You?
Oh!
Helen! Goddess, perfect, nymph, divine, oh! Let me kiss this princess of pure white, this seal of bliss!
Oh, spite! Oh, hell! Now I see you are both bent to set against me for your merriment. But if you are men as men you are in show, well, you would not use a gentle lady so. You both are rivals and love Hermia, and now both rivals to mock Helena? Oh, a trim exploit, a manly enterprise to conjure tears up in a poor maid's eyes with your derision.
You are unkind, Demetrius. Be not so. For you love Hermia, this you know I know. And here, with all goodwill, with all my heart, in Hermia's love I yield you up my part. And yours of Helena, to me bequeath, whom I do love, and will do to my death.
Oh! Never did mockers waste more idle breath.
Lysander, keep thy Hermia, I will none.
Oh.
If e'er I loved her, all that love is gone.
It is not so.
Disparage not the faith that thou dost not know, lest to thy peril thou abide it dear. Look where thy love comes. Yonder is thy dear.
Lord, not by mine eye, Lysander found mine ear. I thank it. Oh, brought me to thy sound. But why unkindly didst thou leave me so?
Why should he stay whom love doth press to go?
What love could press Lysander from my side?
Lysander's love that would not let him bide. Oh, fair Helena, who more engilds the night than all yon fiery O's and eyes of light. Oh, why seek'st thou me? Could not this make thee know? The hate I bear thee made me leave thee so.
You speak not as you think it cannot be.
Lo! Well, she is one of this confederacy. Oh, and now I perceive they have conjoined all three to fashion this false-sported spite of me. Injurious Hermia, most ungrateful maid, have you conspired? Have you with these contrived to bait me with this foul derision? And will you rent our ancient love asunder to join with men in scorning your poor friend?
I am amazed at your passionate words. I scorn you not. It seems that you scorn me.
Oh! Have you not set Lysander as in scorn to praise my eyes and face, and made your other love, Demetrius, who even but now did spurn me with his foot to call me goddess, nymph, divine, rare, precious, celestial? Go! Wherefore speaks he this to her he hates?
I understand not what you mean by this.
I do. Persever, counterfeit sad looks, make mouths upon me when I turn my back, wink each at other, hold the sweet jest up. Well, fare thee well. 'Tis partly mine own fault, which death or absence soon shall remedy.
Oh, stay, gentle Helena, hear my excuse. My love, my life, my soul, fair Helena.
Excellent.
We do not scorn her so. Oh,
If she cannot entreat, I can compel.
Thou canst compel no more than she entreat. Thou threats have no more strength than her weak praise. Helen, I love thee. By my life I do.
I say I love thee more than he can do.
If thou say so, withdraw and prove it too.
Quick, come.
Lysander, where to tens thou this?
Oh, no, sir. Seem to break loose. Take on as you would follow, but come not. You are a tame man. Go.
Hang off, thou cat! Thou burr vile thing, let loose, or I will shake thee from me like a serpent.
No, why are you grown so rude? What change is this sweet love?
Thy love. Out, tawny tartar, out! Out, loathed medicine! Oh, hated poison, hence!
Do you not jest?
Yes, sooth, and so do you.
Demetrius, I will keep my word with thee.
I would I had your bond, for I perceive a weak bond holds you. I'll not trust your word.
What? Should I hurt her? Strike her, kill her dead? Although I hate her, I'll not harm her so.
What? Can you do me greater harm than hate? Hate me? Lysander.
I, by my life, and never did desire to see thee more. Therefore, be out of hope, of question, of doubt. Be certain, nothing truer. 'Tis no jest that I do hate thee and love Helena.
You, juggler! You Kanga Blossom, you thief of love! What have you come by night and stolen my love? Heart from him!
Oh, fine in faith! Have you no modesty? No touch of bashfulness? No maiden shame? What? Will you tear impatient answers from my gentle tongue? Oh, fie! Fie, you counterfeit! You puppet, you!
Puppet! Why? So, hi, that way goes the game. Now I perceive that she hath made compare between our statures. She hath urged her height, and with her personage, her height forsooth, she hath prevailed with him. And are you grown so high in his esteem because I am so dwarfish and so low? How low am I, thou painted maple? Speak! How low am I? I am not yet so low, but that my nails can reach unto thy nose!
Don't you mock me, gentlemen! Oh, let her not hurt me! I was never cursed! I have no gift at all in shrewishness! Oh, I am a right maid for my cowardice! Shall they not strike me? Oh, perhaps you think because she is something lower than myself that I can match her!
Again!
Be not afraid, Helena. She shall not harm thee.
No, sir, she shall not, though you take her part.
Oh, when she is angry, she is keen and shrewd. She was a vixen when she went to school, and though she be but little, she is fierce.
Little. Again! Nothing but low and little. Why will you suffer her to flout me thus? Let me come to her!
Get you gone, you dwarf! You minimus! Of hindering nutgrass maid! You bead! You acorn!
You are too officious in her behalf that scorns you at your services.
Now she holds me not. Now follow, if thou darest, to try whose right, of thine or mine, is most in Helena.
Follow? Nay, I'll go with thee, cheek by jowl.
You mistress, all this coil is long of you, nay, go not back.
Oh, well, I will not trust you. I no longer stay in your cursed company. Oh, your hands and mine are quicker for the fray. Oh, my legs are longer, though, to run away.
I am amazed and know not what to say.
That worked for me.
You're right, the characters are strong.
That's all well and good, but these gymnastics are as artificial as that ghastly ball.
It is
the
poetry which sings to us.
It absolutely is. You simply need listen to the language. Think of Romeo and Juliet. The moment they first meet and fall in love is written as a sonnet, a poem.
Palm to palm.
Yes. Shall we try it?
Costumes?
If you think it'll help.
Oh, that's just the thing! I love this one. It's really mushy. If I profane with my unworthiest hand this holy shrine, the gentle sin is this: my lips, two blushing pilgrims, do ready stand to smooth that rough touch with a tender kiss.
Pilgrim, you do wrong your hand too much, which mannerly devotion shows in this. For saints have hands that pilgrims' hands do touch, and palm to palm is holy Palmer's kiss.
Have not saints lips, and holy palmers too?
Aye, pilgrim, lips that they must use in prayer.
Then let lips do what prayers do. Pray. Grant thou, lest faith turn to despair.
Saints do not move, though grant for prayer's sake.
Then move not, while my prayer's effect I take. Well, that was something.
Such tender, delicate beauty in 14 lines with a rhyming couplet at the end.
Yeah, that's fine, but who's gonna notice that that was 14 lines? It's the people, the characters that make the show.
Oh, well, that's part of it, but that's
Hey!
not the entire...
Sometimes the words are tough for the audience, am I right? That's where the actor comes in. Because it is the actor, and only the actor, who can bring the words to life through the characters.
Heaven save me from actors' egos.
At least we concur on something.
Listen, I agree with you up to a point. I love the characters. They're very human, but what makes the place so fascinating is the circumstances in which the characters are in.
I thought you liked the people because they're kings and queens and blah, blah, blah.
Well, I do, but all those kings and queens are people too. Sometimes they get stuck in the same situations we get stuck in.
Situations made magnificent by the poetry.
Made real by the actors.
Oh, ignore them. Look, who here hasn't had an argument with their parents and heard the words, "As long as you live under my roof, you'll obey my rules"? Ah. Shakespeare wrote it 400 years ago, and it still holds true today.
I love it. Romeo and Juliet, Act 3, Scene 5. This time, you play Juliet, and you play Lady Capulet, her mother.
And I'll play her father.
past a careful father, child. He hath sorted out a sudden day of joy, which thou expect'st not, nor I looked not for.
Madam, in happy time. What day is that?
Marry, my child, early next Thursday morn. Oh, the gallant, young, and noble gentleman, the County Paris at St. Peter's Church shall happily make thee there a joyful bride.
No. By St. Peter's Church and Peter too, he shall not make me there a joyful bride. I pray you tell my lord and father, madam, I will not marry yet, and when I do, I swear it shall be Romeo, whom you know I hate rather than Paris.
Here comes your father. Tell him so yourself and see how he will take it at your hands.
How now, wife? Have you delivered to her our decree?
Aye, sir, but she will none. She gives you thanks. I would the fool were married to her grave.
Soft. Take me with you, wife. How will she none? Does she not give us thanks? Is she not proud? Does she not count her blessed, unworthy as she is, that we have wrought so worthy a gentleman to be her bridegroom?
Not proud you have, but thankful that you have. Proud can I never be of what I hate, but thankful even for hate that is meant love.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Chopped logic. What is this? Proud. And I thank you, and I thank you not. Thank me, no thankings. Nor proud me, no prouds. But fettle your fine joints 'gainst Thursday next, to go with Paris to St. Peter's Church, or I will drag thee on a hurdle thither. Out! You green sickness carrion! Out, you baggage! You tallow-face!
Fie, what are you, mad?
Good father, I beseech you on my knees, hear me with patience, but to speak a word.
Hang thee, young baggage! Disobedient wretch, I tell thee what. Get thee to church a Thursday, or never after look me in the face. Speak not! Reply not! Do not answer me! My fingers itch, wife. We scarce thought us blessed that God had lent us but this only child. But now I see this one is one too much.
Oh, you're too hot!
God's bread, it makes me mad. Day, night, work, play, alone, in company. Still my care hath been to have her matched. And having now provided a gentleman of noble parentage, of fair domains, youthful and nobly allied, and then to have a wretched, puling fool, a whining mammet, in her fortune's tender to answer, I'll not wed, I cannot love, I am too young, I pray you, pardon me. But, and you will not wed, I'll pardon you. Graze where you will, you shall not house with me. Oh, look to it! Think on it! I do not use to jest. Thursday is near. Lay hand on heart, advise, and you be mine. I'll give you to my friend, and you be not. Hang, beg, starve, die in the street, for by my soul I'll ne'er acknowledge thee. No, what is mine shall never do thee good. Trust to it, bethink you. I'll not be forsworn.
There no pity sitting in the clouds that sees into the bottom of my grief? Oh, sweet my mother, cast me not away. Delay this marriage for a month, a week, or if you do not, make the bridal bed in that dim monument where Tybalt lies.
No, talk not to me, for I'll not speak a word. Do what thou wilt, for I am done with thee.
Does that still really happen today?
Unfortunately, it's still relevant today. But who but Shakespeare could caress the ear with such eloquence? It's not what is said, but how Shakespeare said it.
No, no. We do not go to hear plays. We go to see them. This isn't opera.
My good woman, without these words, there would be no play.
And without performers, they would all stay on library shelves.
There are worse places to be.
It was meant to be brought to life. I mean, the characters stand on their own. They're so good that, in Shakespeare's time, even the women's roles were all played by men.
Well, our society doesn't limit us like that. Today, women are allowed to be actors.
What a great idea!
What?
Much ado about nothing.
Yes.
Well, you said that it's the words that tell the story. And you said that the characters are so universal they could be all played by one gender, so... Why not?
You mean Beatrice and Benedict?
Sure.
Well, can I wear Romeo's jacket? Oh!
Sure.
Well, costumes really do help with the illusion.
So, I guess we sit this one out.
Okay, so she's gonna be a she, and she's gonna be a he, and they're in love with each other, but neither one has told the other one. And her cousin was stood up at the altar, and she says that if he really loves her, he will kill the man who wronged her cousin.
Lady Beatrice, have you wept all this while?
Yes. And I will weep a while longer.
I would not desire that.
You have no reason, I do it freely.
Surely I do believe your fair cousin is wrong.
Oh, how much the man deserve of me who would right her?
Is there any way to show such friendship?
A very even way. No such friend.
May a man do it?
It is a man's office, but not yours.
I do love nothing in this world so much as you. Is not that strange?
As strange as the thing I know not. It were possible for me to say I love nothing so well as you. But I confess nothing, nor I deny nothing. I lie not. I am sorry for my cousin.
By my sword, Beatrice, thou lovest me.
Do not swear by it, and eat it.
Will swear by it that thou lovest me, and I will make him eat it that says I love not you.
Will you not eat your word?
With no sauce that can be devised to it? I protest. I love thee.
What? Then God forgive me.
Of what offense, Beatrice?
You have stayed me in a happy hour. I was about to protest I loved you.
And do it with all thy heart.
I love you with so much of my heart that none is left to protest.
Come, bid me do anything for thee.
Kill Claudio.
Not for the wide world.
Kill me to deny it. Farewell.
Tarry, sweet Beatrice.
I am gone though I I am here. There is no loving you. I pray you let me go. In faith, I will go.
We'll be friends first.
You dare easier be friends with me than fight with mine enemy?
Is Claudio thine enemy?
Is he not approved in the height of villain that hath slandered, scorned, dishonored my kinswoman? Oh, that I were a man. What? Bear her in hand until they come to take hands, and then with public accusation, uncovered slander, unmitigated rancor. Oh God, that I were a man, I would eat his heart in the marketplace.
Hear me, Beatrice.
Sweet hero, she is wronged. She is slandered. She is undone.
Beatrice.
Princes and counties, a princely testimony, a goodly count, comfort, a sweet gallant surely. Oh, that I were a man for his sake, or I had any friend would be a man for my sake. But manhood is melted into curtsies, valor into compliment, and men are turned only into tongue and trim ones too. I cannot be a man with wishing. Therefore, I will die a woman with grieving.
Very good, Beatrice. By this hand I love thee.
Use it for my love some other way than swearing by it.
Think you in your soul that Count Claudio hath wronged Hero?
Yea, as sure as I have a thought or a soul.
Enough. I am engaged. I will challenge him. I will kiss your hand. And so leave you. By this hand, Claudio will render me a dear account. As you hear of me, so think of me. Go, comfort your cousin. I must say she is dead. And so farewell.
The strength of the characters.
It's the authentic setting that speaks the truth.
Clearly, the play on words and rhetorical devices.
Great God Almighty, it's just a play.
No, I'm talking
depth
about
of
the
the
university.
characterization.
It's just a play. All right, they're good plays, fine. Each of you is right. Good words, interesting thoughts, fascinating people. But it's just a play. You guys kill me.
Yes, they are plays. But there are deeper lessons we can learn if we pay attention. Shakespeare reaches out over 4 centuries to tap us on the shoulder and say, look at yourselves. Learn about yourselves. My characters aren't so different from you.
Not bad.
I have my moments.
We're gonna need some help for this one. Professor?
Very well. The play is the tragedy of Julius Caesar. We'll need 6 people to perform with us. We'll let you know what to say and when. I need 6 volunteers who read well and think they can be quite loud. Volunteers? 1.
Yes, 2.
Volunteers?
Small crowd, we can see you all. Yes. 3. 4.
What's the chord? 1, 2, 3,
5,
4.
6.
Excellent. So you'll just follow her off stage. Everybody. Except for you. Sarah, will you inform the multitudes of the plot thus far?
Previously on Jersey Shore, the situation made Snooky...
No.
Caesar has been crowned Emperor of Rome by the people. The Senate didn't like the idea of sharing power with him, so he was stabbed to death by 44 of his closest friends in the Senate. That's politics for you. Anyway, the conspirators, the senators who stabbed him, then go around and tell everyone that Caesar was a traitor. So then everyone is glad that he's dead. But the senators made a big mistake. They let Mark Antony, Caesar's friend, give a speech at the funeral.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, Antony gets the people back on Caesar's side.
Little late, right? But better late than never. Oh, Shakespeare said that, right, Professor?
Ready? Now, this scene is all about a mob. After Antony's speech, the regular people of Rome, the workers...
The plebeians.
I'm impressed. The plebeians take to the streets wanting to avenge Caesar's murder. Rome, the center of the civilized world, becomes the home of violent mob justice.
Couldn't happen in this day and age, could it?
No, we're too sophisticated today. That could never happen.
Vancouver after the Canucks lost the Stanley Cup.
Shopping mall riots the day after Thanksgiving.
Too sophisticated today.
Is our mob ready? Yes. Yes! And here they are. All right. We take our places.
Here is the will, and under Caesar's seal, to every Roman citizen he gives, to every several man, 75 drachmas. Hear me with patience. Moreover, he hath left you all his walks, his private arbors, and new planted orchards on this side Tiber. He hath left them you and to your heirs forever. Common pleasures to walk abroad and recreate yourselves. Here was a Caesar. When comes such another? Thou art afoot. Take thou what course thou wilt.
I dreamt tonight that I did feast with Caesar, and things unluckily charge my fantasy. I have no will to wander forth out of doors, yet something draws me forth.
What is my name? Whither am I going? Am I a married man or a our very talented colleagues.
Very good. Now, that scene from Julius Caesar had everything I'm talking about. It had political intrigue, it had action, it had violence, and that keeps an audience's attention. Am I right?
But look at the character of Cinna, the depth that is brought into the scene by the actor's portrayal of a gentle and innocent man being swept up in the madness of the crowd.
But really, I mean, mobs, what a mess. You don't need a riot on stage for political intrigue. Shakespeare can bring politics and danger alive for an audience with one speech. One speech drenched in blood and ambition.
A speech brought to life by an actor capable of communicating the nuance of character and meaning.
Such a speech wouldn't need the trappings of staging. Simply allow the language to take center stage.
No staging? No set? Yeah, Shakespeare's good, of course, but please, give me an example of a speech with blood and violence and politics that alone holds an audience attention. What speech can do all that without staging or effects?
The Scottish play, Act 1, Scene 5, Lady Macbeth. Do you want to give it a try?
Shall I?
Oh, yes, yes.
Let's see how this measures up to Julius Caesar.
Macbeth, Act 1, Scene 5. King Duncan has come to visit the Macbeths. Lady Macbeth wants her husband to be king, but that can't happen unless King Duncan is dead.
The raven himself is a horse that croaks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. Come, you spirits that tend on mortal thoughts, unsex me here and fill me from the crown to the toe top full of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood, stop up the excess and passage to remorse, that no compunctious visitings of nature shake my fell purpose, nor keep peace between the effect and it. Come to my woman's breasts and take my milk for gall, you murdering ministers, wherever in your sightless substances you wait on nature's mischief. Come, thick night, and pall thee in the dunnest smoke of hell, that my keen knife see not the wound it makes, nor heaven peep through the blanket of the dark to cry, hold, O world!
Wow, the meaning is clear.
Shakespeare's words. The speech revels in metaphor and imagery. Make thick my blood, milk for gall. There's no mistaking Shakespeare's intent.
Yes, but you should have used the knife. It would have added action to the scene.
The scene wasn't about the knife.
But it was about the murder of Duncan. The knife is necessary to the scene.
The knife comes later.
But the scene mentions a knife. Should she have a pretend knife?
Perhaps you mean a metaphorical knife.
Does a metaphorical knife have a different kind of blade?
A metaphorical knife has no blade at all.
Well, what good is that? She can't murder somebody if the knife is broken.
Ah, that's my point! Audiences want props, they want effects, otherwise they'll get bored. For example, let's take another scene from Macbeth, and this time we'll need 2 knives.
Now I'll show you the life an actor can bring to a character.
Some music to set the stage.
After Lady Macbeth's dark and scary speech. She has sent her husband to kill King Duncan, and now she's waiting for him to return to tell her that the deed is done.
That which hath made them drunk hath made me bold. What hath quenched them hath given me fire. Oh! Peace. This was the owl that shrieked, the fatal bellman which gives the sternest good night. He is about it. The doors are open, and the surfeited grooms do mock their charge with snores. I have drugged their possets, that death and nature do contend about them, whether they live or die.
Who's there? What ho?
Alack, I am afeard they have awakened. 'Tis not done, the tempted, not the deed, confounds us. Hark, I lead the daggers ready, he could not miss him. Had he not resembled my father as he slept, I had done. My husband!
I have done the deed. Didst thou not hear a noise?
I heard the owl scream and the crickets cry. Did not you speak?
When?
No!
As I descended?
I!
Hark! Who lies in the second chamber?
Donald Bain?
This is a sorry sight.
Oh, only thought to say a sorry sight.
This one did laugh in his sleep, and one cried murder that they did wake each other. I stood and heard them, but they did say their prayers and address them again to sleep.
There are 2 lodged together.
One cried, God bless us, and amen. The other as they'd seen me with these hangman's hands. Listening their fear, I could not say amen when they did say, God bless us.
Consider it not so deeply.
But wherefore could I not pronounce amen? I had most need of blessing and amen stuck in my throat.
These deeds must not be thought after these ways, so it will make us mad.
Methought I heard a voice cry, sleep no more. Macbeth does murther sleep. The innocent sleep. Sleep that knits up the raveled sleeve of care. Oh, the death of each day's life. Sore labor's bath. Balm of hurt minds. Great nature's second course. Chief nourisher in life's feast.
What do you mean?
Still he cried, sleep no more to all the house. Glamis hath murdered sleep, and therefore Cawdor shall sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more.
Who was it that thus cried? Why, worthy thane, you do unbend your noble strength to think so brainsickly of things. Go, get some water and wash this filthy witness from your hand. Why did you bring the daggers from the place? They must lie there. Go, carry them and smear the sleepy grooms with blood.
I'll go no more. I am afraid. To think what I have done, look on it again, I dare not.
Infirm of purpose! Give me the daggers! The sleeping and the dead are but as pictures. 'Tis the eye of childhood that fears a painted devil. If he do bleed, I'll gild the faces of the grooms withal, for it must seem their guilt.
Whence is that knocking? How is it with me when every noise appalls me? What hands are here? Oh, they pluck out mine eyes. Will all great Neptune's ocean wash this blood clean from my hand? No. This, my hand, will rather the multitudinous seas incarnadine, making the green one red.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Oh! See how we brought together the props and the sound effects and the dark music? Now that's entertainment!
But Shakespeare wrote many scenes of interpersonal drama, psychological drama that require no knives or effects, scenes in which people play out conflicts about life and death with nothing necessary beyond the words.
I wouldn't dare allow such a scene. Audiences would fall asleep or leave.
I think the professor is right this time.
And I won't fall asleep.
If the actors can convey the life and death struggle in the scene.
What scene do you have in mind?
Claudio and Isabella. Measure for measure. Act 3. Scene 1.
Claudio is in prison, condemned to die. Isabella, his sister, is in the process of becoming a nun. Isabella comes to the prison with report of her efforts to secure her brother's freedom. Do you think I need to tell them any more than that?
That should be quite enough. We'll let Shakespeare take it from here.
no bestow me nay. Said no me nay. Said no me nay. To hold on glory on.
Now, sister, what's the comfort?
Why, as all comforts are, most good indeed. Lord Angelo, having affairs to heaven, intends you for his swift ambassador. Therefore your best appointment make with speed. Tomorrow you set on.
Is there no remedy?
None. But such a remedy as to save a head would cleave a heart in twain.
But is there none?
Yes, brother, you may live. There is a devilish mercy in the judge, if you'll implore it, will free your life, but fetter you till death.
Perpetual durance.
Just. Perpetual durance.
But in what nature?
In such a one as you consenting to it would bark that honor from that trunk you bear and leave you naked.
Let me know the point!
I do fear thee, Claudio, and I quake, lest thou a feverous life shouldst entertain in 6 or 7 winters more respect and perpetual honor. Darest thou die?
Why give you me this shame? Think you I can a resolution fetch from flowery tenderness? If I must die, I will encounter darkness as a bride and hug it in mine arms.
Oh, there speak, my brother. Oh, there my father's grave did utter forth a voice. Yes, thou must die. Thou art too noble to conserve a life in base appliances. Oh, this outward sainted deputy, his filth within being cast, would appear a pond as deep as hell.
The Prenzy, Angelo?
Oh, 'tis the cunning livery of hell, the damnedest body to invest and cover in Prenzy guards. Darest thou think, Claudio, if I should yield him my virginity, thou mightest be freed?
Heavens. It cannot be.
Yes, he would give it thee. From this rank offense, so to offend him still. This night's the time I am to do what I abhor to name, or else thou diest.
Thou shalt not do it.
No. Were it but my life, I would lay it down for your deliverance as frankly as a pin.
Thanks. Dear Isabel.
Oh, be ready, Claudio, for your death tomorrow.
Yes. Has he affections in him that can thus make him bite the law by the nose when he would force it? Sure, it is no sin, or of the deadly 7 it is the least.
Which is the least?
If it were damnable, he being so wise, why would he for the momentary trick be perdurably fined? Oh, Isabel.
What speaks my brother?
Death is a fearful thing.
And shame and life are hateful.
Aye. But to die? And go we not know where? To lie in cold obstruction, and to rot the delighted spirit to become a kneaded clod. To bathe in fiery floods, or to reside in thrilling region of thick-ribbed ice. Oh! 'Tis too horrible. The most loathed and weary life that age, ache, penury, and imprisonment can lay on nature is a paradise to what we fear of death.
Oh, Les!
Sweet sister, let me live. What sin you do to save a brother's life, nature dispenses with the deed so far as it becomes a virtue.
You beast! You faithless, coward, dishonest wretch! Wilt thou be made a man out of my vice? Is it not a kind of incest to take thy life from thine own sister? Shame! What should I think? Oh, heaven, shield my mother, plagued my father fair from this warped slip of wilderness ne'er issued from his blood. Take my defiance, die, perish, but my bending down reprieve thee of thy fate, it will proceed. I'll pray 1,000 prayers for thy death, not a word to save
Nay,
thee.
hear me, Isabel.
Five! Thy sin is not accidental, but a trade. Mercy to thee would prove itself a bawd. 'Tis best thou diest quickly.
Nay, hear me, Isabella.
The simple clarity of meaning, the struggle of the human soul revealed through the precise use of language.
That language did tell them about their actions, what they needed to feel and do.
So, some scenes do require a kind of simplicity, but other scenes call for everything that we've discussed. Shakespeare's words.
Good acting.
And staging that adds excitement.
Shakespeare really did give us a lot of guidance on how to do this stuff. You know, come to think of it, Shakespeare himself, right inside a play, gives us direct advice on how to stage a play.
Hamlet's advice to the players.
As you will recall, in the tragedy of Hamlet, Prince of Denmark, there is a scene in which the character of Hamlet explains to a troupe of actors how to perform in an upcoming scene in which they stage a play before the king. Through Hamlet, Shakespeare elucidates his own approaches to acting and staging the plays.
Hamlet says,
Speak the speech, I pray you, as I pronounced it to you trippingly on the tongue. But if you mouth it as many of your players do, I had as lief the town crier had spoke my lines.
nor do not saw the air too much, your hands thus, but use all gently. For in the very torrent, tempest, and as I say, the whirlwind of passion, you must acquire and beget a temperance that may give it smoothness.
Oh, it offends me to the soul to see a robustious, periwigged, pated fellow tear a passion to tatters, to very rags, to split the ears of the groundlings.
I could have such a fellow whipped for our doing. Pray you, avoid it.
Oh, be not too tame neither, but let discretion be your tutor.
Suit the action to the word to the action.
With this special observance, that you o'erstep not the modesty of nature, for anything so overdone is from the purpose of playing, whose end both at the first and now was and is, to hold as 'twere a mirror up to nature. Shakespeare's advice given to us through Hamlet.
Hamlet.
What about Hamlet?
Oh, let's give the audience a scene with a taste of everything that we've discussed. Oh, great characters, memorable language, swords, and lots of action.
The fight at the end of the play.
of Hamlet, Prince of Denmark. Hamlet's father has been killed by Hamlet's uncle. Hamlet's uncle is now king and married to Hamlet's mother. Hamlet's attempts to discover who murdered his father have resulted in the deaths of Laertes' father and sister. Near the end of the play, Hamlet and Laertes prepare for a fencing match that will take place in the throne room in front of the king and queen.
Come, Hamlet, come, and take this hand from me.
Give me your pardon, sir. I've done you wrong, but pardoned, as you are a gentleman. This presence knows, and you must needs have heard, how I am punished with a sore distraction. What I have done, that might your nature, honor and exception roughly awake, I here proclaim was madness. Free me so far in your most generous thoughts, that I have shot mine arrow o'er the house, and hurt my brother.
I am satisfied in nature, Hamlet, whose motive in this case should stir me most to my revenge. But in terms of honor, I stand aloof and will no reconcilement. I do receive your offered love as love, and will not wrong it.
I do embrace it freely, and will this brother's wager frankly play. Give us the files, come on!
Come, one for me!
I'll be your foil, Laertes, in mine ignorance.
You mock me, sir?
No, by this hand.
Cousin Hamlet, you know the wager.
Very well, my lord, your grace hath laid the odds of the weaker side.
I do not fear it. I have seen you both, but since he is bettered, we have therefore odds.
Prepare to play.
If Hamlet give the first or second hit, or quit in answer of the third exchange, the king shall drink to Hamlet's better breath, and in the cup a pearl shall he throw, richer than that which 4 successive kings in Denmark's crown have worn. And let the kettle to the trumpet speak. The trumpet to the cannoneer without. The cannons to the heavens to earth. Now the king drinks to Hamlet. Come. Begin.
hit, a very palpable hit. Well, again.
Stay! Give me drink. Hamlet, this pearl is thine. Here's to thy health. For you, the cup.
I'll play this bout first. Set it by a while. Come.
A touch, I do confess.
Our son shall win.
Oh, he is hot and scant of breath. Here's a napkin to rub thy brow. The queen carouses to thy fortune, Hamlet.
Good madam.
Gertrude, do not drink.
I will, my lord. I pray you pardon me.
It is the poisoned cup. It is too late.
I dare not drink yet, madam. By and by.
Let me wipe thy brow.
My lord, I'll hit him now. And yet, 'tis almost against my conscience.
Come. For the third. Laertes, you but dally. I pray you pass with your best violence. I am afraid you make a wanton of me.
Say you so. Come on. am justly served by my own treachery.
How does the queen?
She swoons to see you bleed.
No! No! The drink! The drink! Oh my dear Hamlet! The drink! The drink is poison!
Villainy! How? Let the doors be locked! Treachery! Seek it out!
It is here, Hamlet. Hamlet, thou art slain. Within thee, there is not a half hour's life. No medicine in the world can do thee good. The treacherous instrument is in your hand, unbaited and envenomed. The foul practice hath turned itself on me. Lo, here I lie, never to rise again. Thy mother's poisoned. I can no more. The king is to blame.
The point. Envenomed too. Then venom to thy Thou incestuous murderer! Damned Dane! Drink off this potion! Is there union there? Follow my mother.
He is justly served. 'Tis a poison tempered by himself. Exchange forgivenesses with me, noble Hamlet. Mine and my father's death come not on thee, nor thine on me.
Heaven, make thee free of it. I follow thee. I am dead. Horatio. Wretched queen, adieu. Oh, I die. The potent poison quite overgrows my spirit. The rest is silent.
I still say it's the characters.
The language is paramount.
Remember their plays.
People! People!
All right. So there's no one right way to look at Shakespeare. The most important thing to remember is to give him a chance. If you start out determined to hate him, you will.
That's right. Remember, he's dead, so he can't defend for himself. Professor.
William Shakespeare often ended his comedies with an epilogue. For our epilogue, we leave you this. From Act 4 of The Tempest.
These, our actors, were all spirits and melted into air, into thin air.
And like the baseless fabric of this vision,
The cloud-capped towers the gorgeous palaces,
The solemn temples, the great globe itself, yea, all which it inherit shall dissolve.
and like this insubstantial pageant faded.
Leave not a rack behind.
We are such stuff as dreams are made on.